Okay, so I'm doing the part 3 of my battle board, which is to put some extruded polystyrene onto some fiberboard. I have my plan open here. I have some extruded polystyrene, and I've got more extruded polystyrene and some fiberboard. So I kind of forgot what I was doing, because I'm a bit of an airy fairy kind of character, but yeah, I still haven't figured out what a campsite actually looks like, but I'm gonna just kind of go for that now. So I'll be doing maybe a couple of hills, sculpting out a couple of hills, a room, 2 rooms, and just basically putting the kind of just PVAing the polystyrene to the board, and you guys can take a look at how I do that. But yeah, we're getting there. We are getting there. Okay, so yeah, what you do first, I'm going to use PVA. I mean, there's probably better ways of doing this, but basically I'm just going to PVA the fiberboard and stick the extruded polystyrene on. Now, in my case, the only polystyrene that I could really get was kind of thin, so I had to get two cuttings to kind of make it the depth that I want. It's going to match the other board. You know, bearing in mind that I have the other project is kind of, or the other half of the board is kind of already done, because I'm salvaging it from a different project. Yeah. Anyway, I have some watered down PVA, and I'm just gonna kind of liberally cut it around. It's still a bit of paint on this paintbrush, but I don't think it's much of a problem. Maybe most important is kind of get the edges. Get a lot of glue applied to the edges, because we don't want it coming up too much. And I will have to do the same on the other part of the polystyrene. So I'm going to come back when this is finished. You guys can take a look then. Okay, and we're back, and I'm just going to kind of place this piece of polystyrene on top of the glue, like so. Pretty exciting stuff, and it fits pretty well. So what side does it not fit on? So I have to give this a bit of thought, because my other board, polystyrene, is like slightly off a couple of inches. Yeah, so I have to leave a lip so that I can connect on. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's okay. You will find out in due course. And what I'm going to have to do is maybe just cut a little here so that it kind of is flush. So I'm going to do that now. Actually, what I'll do first is put on the second layer, and just make sure that that is lined up and not too off point. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty. It's okay. Right. And I want to give it a little bit of a lip, so bear with me. Okay, and here we are again, and I've just kind of put some PVA. Now, don't worry, your PVA or whatever you're sticking your board with won't be brown. It just so happens that I'm using the same paintbrush that I was basing with last night. So, yes, okay, so here we are. Yes, now I just have to put a second layer, because as I was discussing earlier, it's very thin stuff. Okay, and we're hoping that sticks. Now, there is a little trick with set parts of your board. Maybe I will do it with this, but sometimes with set parts of your board that you PVA down, they don't stick very well. And what you can do to help that is to use cocktail sausages as like pins that keep the two different layers of polystyrene together, and it works really well. It is a pain though if you want to change, so that's kind of why I went to a modular style. But I'm going to start talking about which parts of this I might do as non-modular now in a second. Okay, so I've kind of drawn out a very rough sketch of where I'm going to put things. So this is the runes. I'm going to have a small hill here. I'm not sure about a dice box. I don't know what to do about a dice box. I have one on the other side of the other half of my board, but I don't think I'll stick one on this side. I think I'll try and get away from that. And then the campsite. I'm not sure what to do with the campsite yet. Right, so there's Fangorn. It'll probably actually come out a bit bigger than that. So the problem that I'm having is that the hill is going to be modular, but the campsite and the rune I don't think I'm going to make as modular, because I don't think that will look quite as good. So I'm going to have to figure out a place where they can go, where they will kind of interact well with games and not kind of get in the way or be useless. So I'm probably just going to primarily put them in the middle. Maybe move this ahead a little bit and move the rune away from Fangorn a bit. And I'm going to have it here and here. I think that would be best. Right, time to cut out some very sophisticated designs. Alright, so here I have some basic shapes, and I have something funny that I'm going to try for the campsite. And you can tell I'm a massive artist. But I actually don't think the sketches, they don't really matter too much. I think it's more about the texturing. Lord of the Rings architecture and runes can be very kind of forgiving. They're not all very neat angles. So I'm going to cut out some of these things, and we're going to see how they look like in a second. And here are the runes that I've done. They don't look like much right now, but they will be. So that's going to be the kind of campsite rune. Here's another little one. Here's like a little kind of, I don't know, temple kind of rune. That should be kind of like there maybe. And I've done a couple of hills, very, very small hills. I'm definitely going to have to fill them in. So the problem that I'm having with this extruded polystyrene is that it's very like, it's ballsy. It's got a lot of balls. So obviously there's a type that you can get that doesn't do that. But what I really want to do is make sure that miniatures don't fall off the whole time. So I'm going to have to like level it out. What I was thinking of doing was just doing it in steps, kind of like a stone hill maybe, and just kind of, you know, taking off some of this and doing it less like a hill, but more like a stone kind of hill. So yeah, here's a little one. But yeah, it's fairly sparse, but I've also decided that I'm definitely not going to stick them to the board. These will be modular, so I might put them on like smaller pieces of polystyrene to move them around. But yeah, there we go. Pretty basic, but hopefully it works.